This is a behind-the-scenes look at part of my current series, Large Canvases in Progress, that are all evolving together through intuitive mixed media painting. Hi there, I'm Janine. I'm an artist and I share my creative journey on this channel. In this video, I'm working across several large canvases as part of my abstract mixed media series. You'll see how I build layers, how I switch between paintings, and how I make decisions as I go, some more intuitively and some with a bit more intention. Let me take you to the studio and walk you through what that looks like. One thing I really love about this painting is these pink washed out lines. I think they really add quite a special thing I haven't had in my other paintings yet. And I love this, but I think it's looking a little bit flat. So I think I want to add some of those pink lines into here. And I did those with a soft pastel and then went over with a medium. So I think I'm going to do that. And also in this one, I really don't like this one yet. So I might do the same, but first I think this light area is a bit distracting, so I'm going to add something more that's the value, so the lightness or darkness of this kind of yellowish color, but maybe mix the yellow with this more mauvey color and then go over with the soft pastel as well. So I'm taking some of the mauve, which I'd pre-mixed, and mix it with the yellow and just see what kind of color that makes. Then go over here. I might even mix in a little bit more of the red that I've got in my palette, which is a cadmium red deep. Makes it a bit more pinky. So that might already be enough. I think I'll need to let that dry. And also it's all quite condensed in this area, so I think I'll add some up here. And maybe also some down there. I'm just really not keen on this painting yet, so we'll see. Let that dry. But let's start adding some of the soft pastel to this one. I think I'm going to do that on the floor because it gets quite messy and the dust goes everywhere. So if I do it on the floor, it'll collect on the painting. So I've got, excuse my trousers, these are really old and they've ripped here. It's not a fashion statement. So I've got the pink and the more of a oxide color. Let me show you. These are both Jackson's Own brand soft pastels. It's 213 carmine and 315 red oxide. I really like these. So I've used those two colors in the other paintings of the series before. So I'm just going to, I don't want to add too much. Just a little bit of something, and I can always paint over it again if I feel like it's too much. So this is the pink one. So I want this to be quite fluid because I do have the sea as my inspiration, but I also want them to be a little bit wild, again, because it's the kind of unpredictable weather and sort of where I'm going with this series. So this might already be enough. It might already be too much. Now I have some fluid matte medium, acrylic medium, and I'm just going to mix, spread that over here, which will also activate the pigment of the soft pastels and spread that and create a really nice washed effect. And it's very unpredictable, this. You might have seen me do this already a few times on these paintings, especially when I started the paintings. If you like this video, consider subscribing. And it has this really nice kind of hazy effect. I just want it to look quite washed out and be a little bit unpredictable, like the sea is unpredictable. And the more you go over it, the more it kind of washes away the pastel marks. Just checking I got all the marks. So once this dries, the medium, it will hold the pastel in place because it's just like a layer of plastic on top. Looking at it now, I think all the marks are a little bit disconnected. And also maybe there's a bit too many marks. So I'm just going to wash them away a little bit more, almost erase them. So there's just a faint line left. Do you quite like these marks down here? Just think these flat lines are a bit too bitty. So they'll just add a little bit of texture to us, kind of more of a background, this beige. And also like how it's added kind of pinky haze over it. Just adding some of that colour that's left on my brush onto some other areas to make the colours more harmonious. A little bit down here. And then I want to do that on this one here as well. It's already looking a bit wild, this. So I might actually do what I did here and go over it with a really light colour. But I might try and do the pastel first. I'm just trying to decide whether I want to let this bit dry that I added earlier, or whether I should just go in straight away. I think I'll go in straight away and then see what happens. I'll use the same two colours for this. Same two soft pastel colours. But I think I'll go a little bit more wild on this, because I'm probably going to paint over a lot of it. Whereas on the other one, I think I'm already close to being finished. It's adding quite a lot of pink here, because I think that might be an interesting colour pop. Same here. And then I'll add the acrylic medium again. So I have a lot of the pink pastel pigment on my brush now. So it's basically like I'm painting with transparent pink paint. So I think that really added a lot of interest. It's completely transformed this piece. I'll let it dry and see how I feel about it then. Now that I'm looking at this one here, I feel like there's a bit too much texture here, and I'm not really liking the dark anymore. I want to lighten this a lot. So I am going to take this light blue and cover probably a lot of this, maybe even that. Let's try it. I haven't actually got loads of this light blue left anymore. Let's see how we go on. And I do want to keep some of what I've already got underneath. Yeah, I think this is also too dark. Now I'm also not liking this here. And I'm trying to have some areas a little bit more solid and some a little bit more transparent to add a nice variety in the textures. I think I want most of this to be more solid, actually. I like how there's now a little bit of a lighter. There's a touch of white here still. It's added a tiny stripe here. I think that's quite interesting. Still not so sure about it. Let's remove some of this so it can be a bit more transparent. Let's add a little more yellow here again. Not sure about that. Might leave that to dry and then form an opinion. This one's really not wanting to come together, so I'm going to add some blue soft pastel, something a bit more of a bright colour. Now that it's dried, I don't love it. But I do actually like the blue. But what I don't like now is all the other bits. So I think I'm going to paint over especially this dark bit here and maybe make this a little bit more solid. And on this one here, I do really like what happened. I think I want to repeat this blue somewhere up here in that light area. Just a little bit. And then I think I need to leave that to settle, because I'm not quite sure what else to do. Maybe calm some areas down. But I do really like most of what's happening there. I'm thinking maybe this bit, and make that the pinky colour. Let's try it. I've got the soft pastel and then just some gloss medium on this, or some matte medium on this brush. So I'll turn this basically into paint. And then this painting here, I also don't really like what I did. I think this bit got a bit too dark now, and also all the marks I did with the soft pastel aren't really, they look a little bit timid. They're not bold enough. So I think what I'm going to do is paint over it again with this kind of colour, this beigey colour, and then maybe make a few more bolder marks. I think this is actually much lighter than the colour I've used here. I can't remember what I used to mix this colour. I think this is quite a different colour now, but we'll go with it. It might work. Especially if I blend it a little bit into the paint that's already there. And everything's kind of going this direction, so trying to make some really subtle marks that are similar colour as the background, but more energy in the movement of the brush stroke. I think that's now too hectic again. It will probably look different once it's dry. There's a lot of these light bits here that I think are a little bit too white, so adding this here, which is a very light colour, but it's not as stark of a contrast. Now if we just go back to this one for a minute, I think I want to add some more of the orange again. Maybe a lighter version, not as light as this, to the centre, maybe up to here, because I feel like this division is a bit strange. Let's see if I can mix a colour. So mixing all the three colours and white that I'm using for my palette. So cadmium red, yellow oxide and ultramarine blue, a touch of that. Just to do a sort of muted orange. And then I'm adding some white to make it a bit more pastel-like. It's quite good actually. And the blue's still a little bit damp, so it's probably going to mix into it. Quite like that it's a little bit more vibrant here. A bit more like this kind of red actually. I think everything on here was kind of a similar saturation level. So maybe a little bit more brighter colour helps it. So for a little bit of this colour down here as well, to tie that into here, and then also probably up here somewhere, just a little bit. I think I'm fiddling a little bit too much with it again. Do one more slightly bolder stroke. I was just getting a little bit too careful. And that was kind of taking the energy out. Now looking at this one here again, I think maybe I can also add some more of that red down here, because I'm not really keen on this stripy texture. And maybe a bit like I did this, I could, instead of this line, a bit more of a bolder move. That was too much. Let's take this blue that I've got on my brush. Actually, this is now making it a bit purple, which I do have quite a bit of purple in the rest of my paintings. So that actually ties it in quite nicely. And again, I just want some of that same color in a few other spots. So the thing that bothers me on this one is actually those lines I've added. I think that looks a bit weird and kind of skin-like. So I'm going to get rid of some of these. I do want to keep a little bit of it, but I think most of those lines I want to take back quite a lot. So I've got some of this pinky color. I think it might be a bit light. It's always hard to say with acrylics how light a paint is because it dries. Acrylic paint dries darker once the medium turns clear while it dries. So I might have to go over these again with a slightly different color. This is going to be a bit of a trial and error because I kind of want to erase them, but also I don't want it to be too noticeable. So I'm also kind of blending the edges so it blends into the areas around it. This I'm pretty sure is going to be too dark, too light. But just I do want to keep a little bit of the bright colors here, but overall I want to make these lines a bit less noticeable. And then on this one here, I think I want to actually add some of this mauvey color. So I'm not super keen on this. I do like that it disrupted it and kind of prompted me to do something about it. I think it could be a touch more saturated even. I also want to add just a little bit up here to beat that colour. I think I want to add a thin glaze of that colour over the blue. So I'm just going to mix some fluid gloss medium into the colour. I could use glazing fluid, but I don't have that right now. I'll just use a little bit of paint and a lot of the medium, which will make it more transparent. Just leave a little bit more blue on the side here. Again, I'll just add a little bit up here so that colour pops up in some more spots. I hope this gave you a good look at how I use layering in my process and how I develop several paintings at the same time. It's definitely a slow evolving process, but that's also what makes it rewarding to see each painting progress through the layers. If you want to see more from this series, take a look at the playlist I've linked below. And if you're a little stuck with your own paintings, then check out my free Get Unstuck toolkit that I've also linked below. Thanks and bye bye.